Hi everyone, I'm Jonica Bushman. I'm the instructor for CI 151, the social context of teaching and learning. And I just wanted to introduce myself to you. I'm an adjunct professor at Fresno State. I'm a former classroom teacher and school administrator. And I worked in Clovis for many, many years, worked in Fresno, and also worked down in Visalia. So I've got a lot of experience around the valley. My area is curriculum in English language arts and literacy across the curriculum. So I got a lot of experience there, but I'll be facilitating this course for you. This particular course is going to be primarily a reading, thinking, and writing course. I've tried with online classes before to have discussions, and I have not been satisfied with the way they work, so I won't be trying to do that this time. I will, however, over the course of the semester, be experimenting with incorporating Blackboard into Google Classroom and also doing some other things. So bear with me. I'm going to be trying to use not only Sheets, but forms in Google. So we'll see how all that works out. So I'm learning along with you. But let me give you a little background about this course. You know, when we talk about the social contexts of teaching and learning, one of the things that's very important as an underlying factor is the fact that teaching is a social activity. You know, it is not an inherent activity, and it's usually, at its most basic, it's one person teaching one other person. And that's the simplest type of teaching that you can think of, you know, demonstrating, modeling, and teaching someone to do something that you know how to do. However, in the current form of teaching and learning that we're talking about complex school systems and schools. And so when I'm just one person teaching you, I get to make all the decisions. I know what it is I want to teach you. There aren't a whole lot of forces outside of me that are impinging on the choices and decisions that I make. But in a school district, that's not the case. So think of it this way. You know, we've got the one-on-one, and that expands out into the, a classroom setting where there's a teacher with 30 kids, 35 kids. And that expands to a whole school where there are multiple classrooms with multiple children. Now, what are the kinds of forces that impinge on the decisions we make? Well, in a classroom, the forces are largely from the children themselves and maybe from their parents, the expectations their parents have that help to shape our decisions. Our decisions are made around the needs of students in our classroom too. And but once you start looking at the context of a school, school works within the context of a whole community and a school district. So there are forces that come from a school district. What kinds of curriculum you can teach, who will be the teachers at your school. And the forces from the community become, well, what skills and knowledge do we want the students to have when they come out? How can they be a productive member of our workforce? That broadens even further when you get to a state that has certain responsibilities statewide and has to fund you. So sometimes your decisions are based on the kind of funding that you can get. And it broadens even further to the national level. On a national level, what do we expect our teachers to be presenting to our students? How are we expecting them to do that? These questions come up over and over again. And then we have a complex and diverse society. So we have students with many, many different cultural backgrounds. We also have students with different racial backgrounds. We have students with different inherent needs in terms of their own physical needs. Sometimes you have disabled students. We have students who have special learning needs. We have students who have special language needs. So decisions around all of these things have an impact on what happens in our classroom. And that's really what we mean by the social contexts of teaching and learning. And you can see that it broadens even further to international levels when people start talking about the international tests that compare our students to international students. How competitive are our kids going to be on a global level? All these things. Recent examples of forces from outside the school itself, the demands for recognition of the needs of LGBT kids, the demands for the needs of within the framework of Black Lives Matter. All of these kinds of things have a huge impact on what we do in our classrooms. So we'll be studying some of those things and talking about them. And again, it's sort of a self-paced, well, it's not self-paced, but this is a sort of a self-learning class because I'm not going to be testing you on do you know specific names and dates. Um, I am going to be asking you to write a lot about concepts and developments and ideas, and so your writing is going to matter. Now, I've put the class into 2-week segments, so I'll give you an assignment. You'll have 2 weeks to complete it, and then at the end of that 2 weeks, that work is due. And I can't accept late work. There are 33 of you in this class. I have to read 33 sets of work every 2 weeks, and I can't be going back and bunching up. So I need for you to keep on pace, and because of that, I'm not going to accept late work. You can pace yourself within those 2 weeks. I am expecting to give you a decent amount of work during those 2 weeks because normally, you'd be coming to class for 3 hours and then I'd be expecting you to do 2 or 3 hours of homework as well. So as it goes, I think probably you have about 3 to 4 hours of work a week, and some of you can go faster than others. There's going to be one big overarching kind of a field assignment. I will give that to you later on. But at any rate, I did want you to make sure that you read the course syllabus and understand in particular the objectives of the course and also the timeline of readings and viewings of assignments. And it's there that it shows you how I will weight the grades. So notes or tests, and I may not give any tests, could be all notes, 20% of your grade. Questions and video responses, sometimes I ask you to make a video as part of your response to me. That's 30%. The reflection essays, those are the big ones, they're 30% also. And then you're going to do this independent project, and that's going to be 20%. So I've listed all the timeline and the sequence, all the topics that we're going to be covering, and you can find that in your syllabus, along with some major assignment descriptions. They're rather brief descriptions, but you'll find that all in syllabus. So I'm looking forward to working with you. Please don't hesitate to contact me if you have questions. I will post my phone number. It's in the syllabus, in fact, and you can always get me by email. At any rate, I'm looking forward to working with you, and so I'll be seeing you on your introductory videos. Thanks a lot, everybody.